There are nearly 40 Godzilla movies, so obviously some of them aren't as well liked as the rest. But the most hated out of all of these movies is probably All Monsters Attack, also called Godzilla's Revenge, released in 1969, being the 10th Godzilla movie. And this video is about why it is that hated. Destroy All Monsters was released a year earlier and was made as the big final Godzilla movie, and it was supposed to be the last, which is why it has such a big amount of kaijus and the big final fight at the end. But instead Toho decided to make another Godzilla movie anyway. But Toho wanted the movie to be made very cheaply and quickly, which you can feel in the final movie for sure. The movie was fully shot and completed in about a month. But there's another issue the rush production brings with it. The later Showa era movies do have a lot of stock footage, but this movie has the most by far, with the main character Ichiro being in dream sequences on Monster Island, for most of the movie, where entire scenes get reused, just with Ichiro and Manila watching this time. And especially if you have already recently seen Ebra Horror of the Deep, Son of Godzilla, King Kong Escapes or Destroy All Monsters, you will definitely notice a lot of stuff being taken from those movies. The movie's target audience was clearly children, which a lot of people do not really like, because it just ends up being a cheap daydream of a kid for most of the movie, because that's literally what it is. Ichiro daydreaming about being on Monster Island. Manila was in this movie way too much. People do not really like Manila, so Manila getting this much of a spotlight isn't great. Especially because he talks now for whatever reason, which makes it even worse. This movie is barely an hour long, which makes it the shortest Godzilla movie ever made. Which is especially ridiculous because of all of the stock footage. Because that makes the shortest Godzilla movie ever the one with the most stock footage. Meaning you don't even get an hour of new footage, which is insane to release as a new movie. Like imagine Minus Zero comes out and it's just an hour long with 20 minutes of it being reused from older movies. That would be ridiculous. So the message is basically about bullying, but it's not done all that well. Because at the start, the bullies tell Ichiro to make this guy that's painting fall, and he doesn't do it, which makes sense because he's supposed to be the better person. But at the end, instead of it being like he stops the bullies, he makes the guy fall anyway and basically joins the bullies. Which makes no sense, because what's the point then? Like, what was the point of an anti-bullying message if at the end the character development is him joining the bullies anyway? So All Monsters Attack is the most hated Godzilla movie for a bunch of different reasons. I still enjoyed watching it, but it's definitely not my top Godzilla movie. I still probably prefer it over Godzilla 1998 to be honest. But yeah, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.